Hello everyone, it is Starcraft Broodwar, Rabbit ladder replay cast for you today. We're actually showcasing one of the best foreign Zerg players in the world. His name is Sziky. He is regularly in the top 4 of the BSL. And we are looking at his ladder exploits. So 2400 plus MMR player. And we have a PVZ for you today. I think I said on Polestar already. If not, we're on Polestar. So let's go. So this is me getting into the new swing of things, making sure that I have the correct maps, and that I'm casting games that have been played in October and November of 2025. It is the 4th of November today. By the time you watch this, it'll be close to the end of the year. If so, happy holidays. If it's not quite the end of the year, happy holidays anyway, man. I'm just such a friendly, kind, happy guy. Alrighty, so we have just a standard pylon scout from our Protoss. No dramas here. And it looks like an overpull from Sziky, so all fairly standard stuff at this stage of the game. Just a little bit of harassment from the probe. So there's two things to showcase on the ladder. I'm still waiting for a bit of feedback from the community in general on what it is that people would like seen cast. But I've kind of taken my own view that I want to cast things that I enjoy, that I think are fun. And there's two main themes here. The one is macro games where there's a lot of big fights, split maps, critical decision making, stuff like that. And then the other is compilation series where you can showcase some of the shenanigans and silly things that people do on the ladder. So I'll definitely be doing a combination of those two things. If there's anything else you can think about that would be cool or reasonable for me to do, please do let me know and I will certainly consider doing so. So this probe has been really annoying, disrupting a lot of mining time. Sziky does just make one pair of lings and a couple of drones, so it's going to probably be able to just chase this probe away. Overlord sees that it is a very standard forge expand. Just a strange position for the cannon, unless he's going to make the gateway. Yeah, oh, okay, so he just kind of made the sim the other way around. Nice. I'm not familiar with the sim cities on the new maps because the new maps to me are new maps to me. So just going in with our standard, no, it's not standard, I beg your pardon. We have expanded over here first, and now we are taking our third hatchery in our natural. Once the Zerg sees Forge, can make these moves with relative safety. The Protoss doesn't have any timings until about 7.5 minutes, unless they're doing some sort of interesting all-in or two-gate trick, which is a sort of a more modern meta build with some Protoss players going Forge into double gateway. It's a difficult build to pull off because of the transitions and the decisions and the flow charts connected to it, but it's been made popular by many, or at least it was a couple of years ago, so interesting to see if it still has any sort of presence in today's meta. Okay, so just very standard stuff here. The layer build from Sziky. No. Okay, so link speed is coming through, so this is probably just a very standard play. And we're just accumulating a couple of zealots. Our probe is still alive at 4 minutes, which is pretty impressive, and our first zealot is probably going to go on a harass here, forcing out some more lings. Just these subtle things in a PvZ are very important. Not just to simply let your Zerg opponent drone up comfortably. Force him to make lings, because lings at the end of the day are drones. Well, lings are made at the opportunity cost of being able to make drones. So our zealot has arrived, he has a kill. So the harassment has already been profitable, because not only has he killed the drone directly, indirectly he has forced out some more lings, which is not drones. So always the theory or the rationale behind this. So a little bit of micro here will probably happen. I hope he won't lose any more drones. It doesn't look like it. I think he's got himself a decent surround on the zealot. Okay, not a bad Not a bad little defend there from Sziky at all. Spire on the way. So Overlord sees the Stargate, sees the +1. So a very, very, very standard build from Protoss so far. Three Zealots. So I think Sziky's a very experienced Zerg player. This is usually the setup for the 7:30 timing attack, where Protoss tries to have, I think it's 8 Zealots and 6 Corsairs with +1 attack, and you go in and you pressure a vulnerable area, whether it's the third base or the natural, and it's too difficult for the Hydras, if you have Hydras at that time, to deal with both the Corsairs attacking your Overlords and the Speed Zealots with +1. So it is a timing. The +1 of the Zealots doesn't feel like it'll finish on time for a 7:30, but we'll watch that. Okay, no, I am wrong. This Protoss is making a second Stargate, so this seems to be a modification of this, where there are going to be lots and lots of Corsairs. Maybe this is just a way to modify the build so that you can have a critical mass of Corsairs, but what it does definitely feel like, as some Scourge do come, and Sziky will have an opportunity to scout the second Stargate, which I'm pretty sure he would have, is that legs are on the way, +1 is on the way, non-stop production out of this gateway is happening, so it definitely feels like building up to some sort of timing. We have 2 Stargates, and we have now 2 Corsairs in production, along with the 4 that are already here, so could be a 6 + 8. It's just a different road to get to the same destination, but it definitely does feel like a timing. Zerg shouldn't really have any problems handling it, because kind of it's been telegraphed as to this is what's going to happen. So we have some Scourge moving forward, we have some Hydras. Hydras are getting their upgrades behind this, and here we go. We have moved out onto the map with our 7 Zealots. There's a lot of Hydras in production, so this shouldn't have... Where is he going to target? Probably here. Get rid of this panel for visibility. There's quite a few Hydras here, so it does pull back. Making a few additional cannons for safety. So thought, nah, I'm not going to push out. I think that Zerg has got 5H Hydra. Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay, so the important thing to spot is, as these Zealots come forward, they preoccupy the attention of the Hydras. All the Hydras are fighting, and boom, swoops in here with the Corsairs and takes out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Overlords. That is some serious damage. So I showed you the retreating Zealots, but unfortunately what I missed was the Corsairs, who got absolutely all of those Scourge without a single hit. The Hydras do pick off one of the Corsairs, but he has done absolutely catastrophic damage and just kept the Hydras busy with the Zealots brilliantly. So really good multitasking from our Protoss. I unfortunately understood the setup, but I missed the diversion. So went back to it in the replay, because you know what? I'm human, and I'm actually quite okay with making the odd mistake, identifying it, and then just adjusting it in the replay. So I have also left the replay button on, but you can see just way too much damage. The Corsairs are waiting for the next Overlords to pop out. DTs are out on the map. It's just absolutely over, and a really well played timing attack build from our Protoss. I have another game of Sziky's that he played on the ladder. I think he's a cool player to follow, so stick with me and we will watch that one together. Okay, this time we are on Knockout, and the Protoss player is called Angle, and he is already starting with the smack talk, calling him Chobo Man. Don't think that's very kind. Looks like he's going to try and keep going with the banter. Manner, please. Question mark. Hey, Chobo. Be manner. I don't know if it's because of lag, or maybe they know each other. Who knows? Who knows? Just always adds an interesting dimension when you see chat. Also makes you sense that players are going to be aggressive. Knockout 1.1 is this map. I have seen the odd game played on here. We're doing a 9 pool. So anticipating obviously some aggression. Playing aggressive himself is Arso. And he's saying, hey Chobo. He's obviously got time to type. And he's making a gateway. So yep, it's going to be aggression versus aggression here for sure. And we'll see how we go from there. Overlord does now get started, and he did do the extractor trick to get out the extra drone. And yeah, we're just gonna have to keep an eye on how things are going. Chobo Man, you don't even type Chobo Man. It's not very legit when you can't type Chobo Man. Does try and scout, doesn't see him. Gateway's on the way. I reckon he's gonna do 1, 2, possibly 3 zealots before expanding. The 9 pool build clashes interestingly with the gateway because it kind of puts the Protoss under a bit of micro pressure to navigate the lings, get the forge, get your expansion, remember your build. A little bit taxing on APM if you're a low APM player, but if you're a high APM player like these guys, should be a piece of cake. Does expand here after the 9 pool. The lings are, oopsie, on the map, and now they're going to chase down the probe or they're going to go pressure. I don't think he's scouted him yet. The Overlord has discovered that he isn't here, and I think he's gone to see here, so he's sending a drone, possibly to expand over here. Yep, behind this. Does have 1 zealot. And what is he going to make to defend this? I think 2 zealots is enough. He's just going 3 zealots and backing himself his micro. I think he may do a nexus here and just skip forge. Yeah, adds a pylon. So just going to bang it. And Sziky's doing 2 hatches behind this, so this is not a commitment to lings at all. And our probe has seen this by having him spotted here. Does have pity up all the way there. I just wanted to show how he managed to block up the ramp. Makes the forge. It's gonna handle this really well. No dramas. Does eventually lose his scouting probe to a single ling, which I'll probably be a little bit disappointed about. But I've seen everything he needs to see. So, what will this Protoss do aside from calling everybody a Chobo? Makes his cannon. So he's just followed a pretty standard build. He can get these probes out of the wall by now, surely. There you go. I was going to say, it's a bit unnecessary. He's got 5 zealots already. And considering he went gate and he didn't have to sacrifice any of those zealots in the early exchanges, these zealots could scale quite decently depending on his build order choice. Meanwhile, we are getting a Hydra, Lisk Den, no lair, so it seems to be a commitment to Hydra play from Sziky. Pushes out with 3 of his zealots, leaves a few behind. Now the cannon's finished. I think he's quite confident that the backstab's not really worthwhile, although I think he could probably get some damage. Making a few more lings here now that the zealots are out on the map. These couple did get surrounded a bit and are pretty low health. Does kill a few though, and 3 more are headed to the natural, where Sziky is making just 1 more pair of lings. Doesn't chase this down though, comes into the natural where there is next to nothing. 2 drones are being made and 3 more pairs of lings. Seems to just want to go straight for the main. Well, these 2 zealots are still contesting. 23 drones at the time that these arrive in his main base. Set it over here as well. No, this is bad micro. He should be attacking drones and not... Oh my god. What the hell? He just quit. That's insane. These zealots obviously just got way too much damage. It's staying in here having fun, he is as well. This replay goes on for like another 2 minutes, so he kills everything, even though Sziky leaves. So he's got just the 2 in here. He just couldn't get the drill right. I don't understand why he GG'd. I think that was a bit premature, to be honest. Alright, we got 1 more game from Sziky on the ladder. Another CVP. I don't understand. I felt like he could have... I think that was just a bit of tilt there. Really it was. And I think it's good to see players tilting on the ladder. It sounds weird to say it like that, but it's natural to see players getting frustrated. He hated that Zerg, that zealots had spread him so thin, and he was needing to multitask in 3 places and do drone drills and all that kind of stuff for what was, at least at face value, a pretty innocuous attack. And I think that would have annoyed Sziky, and that's why he just quit. You know, I think he was falling behind. He definitely stood to lose a few more drones there. The Protoss spread his zealots pretty well. For some reason I can't speak, which is really crazy. Should probably just make this my last game for the day. I went to the gym, I took creatine, I developed a new program. I'm like some weird combination of hungry, tired, sore, and satisfied. And that was the state of mind that I decided to cast some Broodwar in. And so here we are. But yeah, let's see what Sziky does. I think the one thing that I will say about that previous game is that the 9 pool is a really, really weak opening. It just puts you so far behind as Zerg that when you should just be able to deal with these pretty innocuous timing attacks, it was really just 7 slow zealots that killed him. And I think if he'd opened more standard, he would have certainly been in a stronger position to fend it off. We're going Nexus first. I don't know to what extent he's just doing this blind. I think it is a 12 build, which is kind of like the Stalk opening, the 12, 12, 12. So you go 12 Nexus, 12 Forge, and then you get yourself another couple of Prots. So it's relatively safe on a big map. We're on Radeon, by the way. I'm not sure if I said that. I haven't seen this map recently, but it is still being played on the ladder. So we're just going to get our first cannon for safety. Pretty soon after that, I reckon on 15 we'll throw down our gateway as well. And there it is. So drone will scout and see. This all just looks pretty standard. No dramas here. Taking a gas before third hatchery is a signal probably overlabeled, but we will have to keep an eye on that. Overlords are flying all around. Drone has scouted and come home, so I expect he will just get this overlord to eventually fly into the main to see everything there is to see, and understand what is going on. So gateway starts. Zealot will probably start sort of immediately, unless he's going to go straight to do a cybernetics core and try and rush tech of some kind. Nothing's being made. There's the core. So he's gone core before gateway. Very interesting. First Zealot on the way. Sending out a probe to scout what Zerg's up to. Zerg is taking a third hatchery now. And it's gone Hydra, so it is a Hydra build. My early guess being a signal that it's going to be lair was just a pile of rubbish. And already the Lings are chasing down the scouting probe. I don't think he's going to get in here. In fact, if his scouting probe survives, I'd be impressed. Zealot is probably going to go and harass the third base. We see this more and more often. The good Protoss players, they don't let their units sit idle. If they feel confident that there's not a lot of Lings on the map, they need to try and force more of them out. So Zealot's gone forward and then run back, so they know Zerg knows that the Zealot is on the map. Doesn't know exactly where though. And the probe's still just scouting about. Even more Lings have been forced out. I think this is probably decent. It does get this around now, so that's the end of the scouting. Zealot decides to go home, which I think is a good call. It's going to block up this. Potentially he's going to add another cannon soon. Citadel, Stargate. Really solid. Because he went core before Zealot, he's got a really quick Corsair here. To the point where if there are any Hydras, although just based on the number of Lings that were made, Hydras will be a little delayed in this build. So the first Hydras can arrive at 525 in the most optimized 3-hatch Hydra build you can do. But because of Sziky making all of the Lings he made, I think his Hydras are going to arrive at about 6 minutes. So the Corsair is going to go, "Ah, hi Hydra, how are you?" And immediately the reaction is to add some more cannons. So Protoss has got plenty of warning to know what's coming his way. So let's see how much of a commitment this is to Hydras from Sziky. If he makes a few and then starts to drone and take a 4th base, or if he makes a lot and goes for it. So some gateways coming in. Protoss' response seems to just be to deal with this with Zealots and some extra gateways. Corsair is just going to continue to see what is coming out of the eggs. So he can see it's still Hydra's being made, and therefore is likely to continue. We'll just keep an eye on the production tab. We know that his Corsair is monitoring what's being produced, and it does look like a really big commitment to Hydras. 2 more hatcheries though along the way, but no more drones. Slow Zealots are coming forward. They're not slow. Okay, they're fast. Templar Archives is coming in, so there is a plan to deal with this with Storm. These Zealots are pretty outnumbered here. I don't know. Yeah, some of the health bars are pretty low. We only have the 3 cannons. 1 more Zealot. This gateway is toast, but there's going to be plenty more in the main reinforcing. 1, 2, 3. Templar Archives is done. He's fully introduced. He's fully introduced. He's fully committed to Hydras. The Corsair has died. No, it hasn't. Corsair's just come home. He's kind of scouted what this is. And not making any more cannons, interestingly enough. So he's backing himself to fend off these numbers with 3 gate Zealots? That seems puzzling to me. Sending 2 Zealots away from home to go and harass here, both with pretty low health. I don't understand that at all. I can't actually believe what I'm seeing here. This is insane. Sziky's got so many Hydras. Just go for it, bro. It does eventually clean up here. I think Protoss has just misread this, thinking that he could move out. He did not make enough cannons. Storm is going to take an eternity to arrive. It's just being researched. And that's that. So Sziky does get a bit of a win on the board and a bit of satisfaction. I thought that the Protoss decision making there was pretty lousy, but there we go. That's a showcase of the best foreign Zerg on the ladder. Bit of a mixed bag. Sometimes you don't know what you're going to get, but I kind of enjoyed watching him play. And if you do enjoy these compilation series where we pick a player and we, you know, do a best of 3 or a best of 5, please do let me know. I'll obviously be mixing in the nice macro games in between this. But thanks for tuning in and watching, and I will see you soon.